Hello and welcome in a very red room. Today I'd like to introduce you to one of my all-time favorite cameras. And no, it is not the latest Canon R5 or whatever, or Nikon or Sony with 100 megapixels. I'm gonna talk to you about one of my all-time little cherished cameras, the TL70 by Mint. So this is the box. And when you open the box, you'll find the camera. Oh, nice little thing. So what do you have in the box? Well, the camera, of course, some reading, and 3 AA batteries, and that's it. What do you have in the reading? Well, you have some nice explanation. How to focus on the head of your dog. Specifications, how to use the bokeh. And a little card signed by Gary. Gary, I thank a lot, because when I had a problem with my camera, well, he sent me another one. So, TL70, what the hell is this camera? It's made by Mint. It's called the InstantFlex TL70. TL stands for twin lens, and 70, I must admit, I forgot. So it's a TLR, twin lens reflex. This is a single lens reflex. And when it's digital, it's called a DSLR. This is analog. When you take out the custom lens cap that comes with the camera, you're gonna see 2 lenses. So the first one is only to focus and to frame, and the second one takes photos. By contrast, a single lens reflex is the only one lens that does everything. So what is special by this camera? As you might have seen, and you might have guessed, and you might already know, this takes instax mini films. So you open it, and this is where you put the cartridge. On the left side of the camera, there's something you might have never seen on an instax camera, which is a focus ring. Beneath it, you have the composition exposure, plus, minus, and of course normal. On the right side, your kill count. Each time you kill a photo, use one, eject one. It's gonna count here, like 1 to 10, like on every Instax camera, because the cartridge is for 10 photos. The red button, the shutter. On the top, the flash. It's a pop-up, like that. Up. Here, if you want to be a normal or B pose, so in B, as long as you press the shutter, it stays open. And here is the pièce de résistance, the aperture ring. If you don't know it, on every Fujifilm cameras, the aperture is fixed. It's f12.7, which is a strange aperture, but it means that nothing is really out of focus, nothing is really sharp in focus, but everything's look kind of in focus. Here you can choose, it goes from 5.6 to f22, with some stops between. And there's a surprise aperture, which is in this case a star that is equivalent to f5.6. And if you take a photo, a portrait of someone with a light behind, it's gonna look like stars, which is fun. So how do you start this camera? Well, be careful. Very complicated process. First, you take the camera, you open it, and it's on. So to use this camera, you have possibility to open this and then you can frame. The only issue with this is that you can focus. So close it, you open the little lens here, and now you can focus. First, you're gonna find it a little bit difficult to focus if you had never used a twin lens reflex, because the image is reversed. Right and left are reversed and vice versa. So the image comes on a glass, on an SLR, and then you have a prism that takes your image back on the right order. On this camera, though, well, you're gonna jiggle a little bit because it's reversed. So, whoop, whoop. Is this camera for you? Well, first of all, it is an expensive camera. Well, for what it is, for a toy camera. If you expect, like, if you're used to the price of the latest digital camera, it is quite cheap. But compared to $100 Fujifilm, it is 4 times more expensive. The difference is here, you do not buy just a toy camera. You also buy art piece. Well, in a way, it's vintage, it's great looking when you take it out of your bag, where everyone looks at this camera, doesn't look at your Nikon, Canon, Sony, Panasonic, whatever you have. This is the camera people like to look at, this is the one they want to use, this is the one that makes them happy. And quite frankly, it makes me very, very, very happy each time I use it. When I mess up a photo, I'm very angry at myself, but when it's great, I'm very, very happy. If you want to see some examples of what I did with it, just click on the link beneath in the description, and you can see what I do with it. I absolutely love this camera. If what you want from an Instax camera is just to point, shoot, have an instant memory, this is not for you. If what you want is to have fun, to have an object that you actually love, that has a nice look, that might be like a little bit of a fashion accessory, and step up a little bit your game, have better looking photos, like more vintage, this is an awesome toy. It is a toy, yes, but what a great one. To be honest, I think I bought my first one like 2 years ago for Christmas. It was my gift to myself, and I never regret it. It is quite some money. They have another camera, which is called the RF, because it's a rangefinder, 70, RF 70. I would love to use it. Gary, hello. It's a fantastic camera. I don't know how to say it. I just love it. So, if what you want is just a memory maker, do not buy this. But if you want really to have fun, be aware, it's some money. It just comes out of box like this. You can buy a leather protection and a leather strap, and you can even protect the lenses. But I never regretted buying this camera. I think it looks great. Every time I take it out of my bag, people are happy to see it, are happy to see me use it. They won't have the memory. The only problem is when people just want to shoot a photo, want to have a memory, and they ask you one, it's not the camera for that. If you might want to have both, this one for your pleasure, for your artistic photos, and simple Instax for just simple memories. But when you use this with monochrome films, it's just awesome. It really feels like the same as using an old Polaroid, but for much cheaper, because $10 10 films instead of $20 for 8 films. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions about the camera, ask me or ask directly Mint. They are very nice, and thanks again Gary from Mint for sending me the second camera that works, and it is much better than the first one. First one, I love it. It's a bit broken, but I still love using it. Thanks.